Have you ever felt like the pressure to master the fundamentals of art and design is actually holding you back? Why is this hard? I know a lot of folks like myself is always out there saying, you gotta learn the fundamentals, you gotta grind them out, it's the only way to improve. But in reality, for some of us, that's not actually true at all. Getting better at art simply just isn't about clocking in the hours. It's about how you learn as an individual. A lot of us do get caught up in these endless cycles of self-doubt, grinding out endless loops of fundamentals, and then just aimlessly doodling. And we're actually just wondering if we're improving or artistically jogging in place. Real progress isn't about luck or talent. It's about embracing the discomfort, leaning into the side of uncertainty, and of course making it personal. Today I'm going to show you how I personally do it, how I've went from a no-skill student out of art school and have had a pretty successful career over the last 15 years. Let's break down how to level your art up and avoid the burnout. So professional development. What the heck is that anyway? Well, it is an ongoing process in which you continue to learn, you continue to build skills, and you cultivate your own experience to allegedly prepare for a career. So for artists, someone like myself or any other kind of creative, this not only includes technical mastery, right, of your skills, things like drawing, painting, designing, but also just more career-oriented growth as well. And this is because in creative fields, being creative and being technically good at what you do, generally speaking, is not enough. Whether you want to be a concept artist, whether you want to be an illustrator or an animator, there needs to be more than just the skill. Simply put, artists that stay adaptable, continue to develop their skills, and then build and form connections with each other and people and industry folks will simply have a lot more opportunities than those that just grind out the skill. So this is about opportunity, creative freedom, and career longevity. Now, personally, I break down my own personal professional development into three main categories. The first is specialized learning. This is where I need to go in, take really specific courses to build very specific skills that I may be lacking or that I'm interested in. Something maybe like Unreal 5 or maybe animating something in Blender. The second is strategic portfolio building. That means constantly curating my own body of work that's public and that's online, something like my art station. This means taking out the old stuff, keeping the new stuff up to date, and remembering when NDAs lift so I can update a project if they ever let any of my artwork out of jail. Which is literally a shame because over the last 4 years there's just hundreds of images that just may never be able to be public. Makes me sad. And the third is lifelong learning and adaptation. This is where I go back to those basics, keep my fundamentals up to speed, where I'm doing things like practicing figure drawing. Maybe I need to get back in and do a couple quick perspective sketches to tighten those up. Maybe I'm just doing a really simple study just to work on my brush strokes or to try a new brush set out. Anything to just go back to the basics, keep things simple, and just work a little bit more on some of those more basic technical skills. Of course, all of this is really just to say it's good to have a little bit of focus and structure as you go. And so I might use a little board like this to kind of keep myself in tune with what I may have missed or what I need to look further into. So I have a variety of categories here, of course, and I just kind of keep it simple, like tech and software. Like I have a slight curiosity to see where AI in 3D is. I got a little link that'll kind of like click me over to that and basically, kind of check into what's kind of going on there. Or for example, I want to learn more about this BagPi 3D. It's a Blender sort of add-on. Or I might want to look at Pattern Designer. These are things that kind of cross my feed that I'm certainly interested in, but I don't necessarily have the time to get into and fully explore this week or maybe next week, So they're on my back burner. These are on the back burner things to do because as you can see, you could develop a lot of cool ideas and there's just not enough hours in the day. Gosh, I just need a little bit more sleep here. And of course, I want to get better at Substance 3D Modeler. I've always had interested in, I've dabbled in it here and there, but I just have not had the bandwidth to really get in and jump on that. So that's again on my to-do list. Or if there's like some really small, really quick project that I can just test out. So like I love sculpting in the VR, for example. This is just a picture of your hair. Why don't you try getting into the VR sometime and essentially just practice sculpting a simple little character concept up like this? Then you can use Substance Painter to try to paint it in 3D. Again, it's just a small little reminder. Or like this is to like, okay, there's this course on, you know, a 3D coat. I need to do some more 3D coat projects. Because again, if I don't use it like every week, and I don't, I use 3D coat like once every few months maybe, I need to get sharpen those skills. Viscom for 3D. This is a tutorial by, I saw my buddy Gavin Manners put out. It looks awesome. I gotta check it out. Just curiosities and interests. And then I might just have a few like really quick inspirational images if I want to develop kind of like a larger sort of project and kit for an idea. See, Substance 3D Model, this thing keeps kind of coming up. I love these projects. I kind of want to learn an optimal way to concept them out, you know, on my own time, essentially. And then I have basically for my fundamental side of professional development, just a nice little reminder that I should do more of this routine practice when it comes to studying, you know, poses, figures and expressions, faces. So that's all there. Again, just because I don't have time this week, but I want to get back to it. Whether I do or not, that is another story. Yeah, here's me from the future during editing. I did get a study done. I worked on this figure, I worked on this portrait. It's not my strength, but I loved making it. I love filling in my own weaknesses when I have no pressure to do so. But no matter how you cut it, essentially there's two types of work, right, that every artist may face once they get a good comprehension of the fundamentals. The first is that effortless kind, right? That comfort stuff. And I think this is very healthy, this is very unstructured, right? In terms of what you want to do, right? You get into that relaxing flow of creativity. For me, think these vast sci-fi landscapes with towering megastructures, or maybe it's just something really simple like a beach scene. This is where somebody that's technically already a professional, or like I said, understands the fundamentals good enough, where you kind of play, right? Where you explore. This kind of art is very healthy, right? There's just no pressure. It might be just world building for the joy of it, not to build a portfolio or an extensive project, but it's just letting your own ideas unfold without its limits. And then there's the other kind, right? This is one that demands a lot more of yourself, right? Where you're basically going back into the grind. There's a lot more challenge here because you're trying to figure things out. You're either trying to optimize like a workflow, learn a new, very specific tool, but it's something that pushes you a little bit more, you know, to that edge. But it is about patience, it's about precision and long-term mastery, right? No shortcuts, no rushing. Take your time. Every little detail matters. These compound upon decisions where everything sort of counts. You know, if you're a young artist, you know, stacking your portfolio with nothing but fantasy ruins, sci-fi towers, and wastelands will probably actually hurt your chances of landing a job rather than fully fleshing things out, you know, to the level that it needs. So for example, like I'm trying to get better at hard surface design and using some specific 3D tools to do that. So like I'm developing a little, you know, tab truck, a little sci-fi tab truck. Kind of looks like fun. For some artists out there, it is very comforting and easy to do, but for me, it's not necessarily easy to do. So I need to practice and grind that sort of thing out. And then developing, you know, an interior further. In this particular case where it's very structured and I'm really thinking about how I can blend, you know, nature and a more kind of passive, peaceful interior sense of design in a more harsh cyber punk-like setting. So I'm mixing like old and new and nature and robot tech. Again, it's a lot of very certain specifics that I'm trying to meld together for specific purposes. It still feels like work, you know, at the end of the day. But yeah, my student I is actually a much better example of this. She was, you know, quite confused a few weeks ago on how to really progress her learning further, and we passed many, many ideas back and forth, you know, over a week or two, and we finally landed on something that is like the perfect kind of scale for her that offers the right amount of structure, theme integrations, and problem solving, right? So this is what I would call strategic portfolio development. It's great for, beginner and intermediate artists, and she's basically designing a fantasy, sort of Greek mythology inspired theme park. So she's just designing, one ride at a time. We'll start with one ride. We'll try to get it in there, try to figure out the mechanics and the logistics of it, right? Problem solving. And then we're going to dress this thing up with some really fun themes. So, yeah, guys, there's links below for any other additional resources you may need. If you need help kind of growing as an artist, we'd be happy to help you. We have different price points for all sorts of budgets. And I'll update you guys in the future on Aya's project here. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this one up here. Remember, really just to grow as an artist, just be honest with yourself about what your skills are, what your own personal vision is. Structured learning necessarily isn't for everyone. It works often enough for me, of course, when I do set clear, manageable goals, and then I balance that out with play, where I have no goals, no intent, and I'm just exploring my own creativity. If it helps, I'd like to just say, think small and do better. You don't have to make large, grandiose sort of projects that you're spending months and weeks on. Just put in the reps before you're overwhelming yourself, comparing yourself to like these other professionals and these industry standards. That's not a healthy mindset. Structured or not, just do. Planning isn't doing. Taking courses necessarily isn't doing. Thinking about doing it is not doing. Just create. Have fun and see what comes out. Guys, let me know what you're doing to improve as creators. Guys, let me know what you're doing below, what you're doing to improve as creators. Make that one structured thing something you're really intently doing and something you like to do just for fun. I'd love to know. And in the next video, I'm going to be talking more about structured portfolio approaches for those that do need, to pursue a creative career in which a structured portfolio is going to benefit them. So we'll be hitting that up. Then I'll be getting into some more social media stuff and then some business acumen for independent creators. All right, so there's a little bit of a lineup of what's coming in the future. Till then, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you the next time.